Hi everyone, if you're here for my Christmas decorations make video, that video is now going to be next week as I've had a few requests to release a making video on this cushion. Now this cushion was going to be a video anyway, it was just going to be in a couple of weeks, but then when I got a few requests for it, I thought I'll bring it forward, and that gives people a chance to make their own as a present, as I'm doing for Christmas. So I'm making two people I know these 4 cushions for Christmas presents. Now, these cushions are fairly easy to make and fairly quick to make. So what this video is going to do is focus not only on how you make it, making sure you know every single detail about how to make these cushions. Right, first, let's start with our materials. So you need a pillow, just a bog standard bed pillow. I've picked mine up from the local supermarket. That's going to be the inside of your cushion. You're going to be using a 6mm hook. You need 400 grams of chunky yarn for your main colour and 300 grams of chunky yarn for your contrast colour. And that's everything you're going to need for this pattern. This is a complete no-sew pattern. You can hear people cheering. Right, a little bit more on the yarn. Now, we're using chunky weight yarn. But what if all you can find is double knit in the colour that you want to use, or even in the amount that you need? Well, there's a way to turn 800 grams of double knit into the 800 grams of chunky yarn that you need, and it's here in this shop. And what if you've only got Aran weight yarn? Well, follow the instructions in this shot. Of the 2 bowl pillows that I have made, this one was made using double knit yarn, and this one was made using Aran yarn. So I used the techniques that you've just seen in the short to get my yarn up to the correct weight to use with a 6mm hook. There are only 2 pieces to this make, a main piece and our middle strap piece. So we're going to start with our main piece, and you're going to start in your main colour. So we're going to start with a slip knot. Now, if you have difficulties making slip knots, have a look at this short here that I made a while ago. Right, now that you've got that done, you need to chain, wait for it, 120 chains. 120. That is your foundation row. And just in case you don't know how to do a chain, well, it's like this. Starting with 1 loop on your hook, yarn over your hook and pull it through the loop that was on your hook in the first place. Ta-da! Repeat 120 times. And now that the foundation chain is complete, we can now start with our first row. In the second stitch from the hook, you need to place 1 half treble crochet. That's UK terms, so you are 1 half double crochet if you're US terms. A half treble, half double is done like this. You start with 1 loop on your crochet hook, yarn over hook. Place your hook through the stitch you're working in, yarn over hook again, and pull this loop through the work. You now have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over hook again, and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Now you just have to do that another 117 times to the end of this row, which will give you a final stitch count of 118. Right, at the end of this row, you're going to chain 2, turn your work, and work another 118 half trebles, that's half doubles if you're US terms, along. You're going to repeat this until you have 8 rows of your main colour. Now, take your contrast colour and chain 2. You now need to do 8 full rows of half trebles in your contrast colour. So you've started off with 8 rows in your main colour, and now you've got 8 rows in your contrast colour. Then you need to change back to your main colour for your middle section of your pillow and do 8 rows again. Remember, you change colour at the 2 chain turn at the start of each row. That's where you change your colour. That'll make everything nice and uniform. And when you're done, your piece should look like this. So we've got 8 main, 8 contrast, 8 main, 8 contrast, 8 main. So once you have your main section completely crocheted, you need to lay it out on a flat surface, and you need to bring both of the ends into the middle. Place stitch markers to hold your work in place. So use 4, attach it through both layers of your work, because now you have created a fold, so you now have 2 layers of your work. Now, using any of your colours that you want, you're going to start at your folded end and along the top, joining both sides of the work together, place roughly 29 double crochet. That's UK terms. So you are single crochet US terms. Don't worry if you don't have exactly 29 stitches. It doesn't matter, because all of this is going to be hidden. So a double crochet UK terms, US terms single crochet is created by starting with 1 loop on your hook, insert your hook through, in this case, both layers of your work, yarn over hook, pull through, yarn over hook, pull through both loops on your hook. This row is going to be completely hidden, and it is your joining row. Now, when you get to your centre fold of your main part of your cushion, turn your work and run a full row of double crochet, so like 1 double crochet at the end of each row down the flap, and now join the 2 bottom halves of your work together. Now you need to repeat this on the opposite side. So when it's all finished, it should look like this. Right, next stage, you're going to turn this inside out and then place your pillow inside. Remember, the snugger the fit, the plumper the pillow. If you do end up with a gap at the back like I have here, don't worry, your next piece, the bow tie piece, is going to cover this up. Okay, onto our middle section now, which is our second piece of the cushion and our final piece of the cushion. I told you this was quick and easy. This time you're going to start in your contrast colour and you're going to chain 60, which you have to admit is a bit of a relief after the previous row of 120. Right, when you've done that, in the second stitch from the hook, place a half treble, that's UK terms, half double US terms, and do that all along. You will have 58 stitches total at the end of the row. Chain 2, turn, and work all the way back. This time, each coloured section is made up of 4 rows and is in the following pattern. Once done, fold this in half with the edges together and run a row of double crochet UK terms, single crochet US terms along to join them up. Turn this inside out, and now all you've got to do is wrangle it over your other pieces, and there you have it, a beautiful bow, no sewing needed. And having it this way all open means that this cover can be removed and it can be washed. So there we go. Head off and make your own. Make loads of them for Christmas presents. They're really easy, really quick to make, and you've got to admit they really do look quite effective. But if you really don't want to make your own, well, you can head over to my Ko-fi shop and you can order one from me. Bye guys.